And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily Special Edition. It's July 4th, and I was planning not to come on, but so much is happening in the world. And I just said, well, let me just come on and just hang out with you a little bit, check on you, see how you're doing. Now that the big, ugly bill has passed, just want to check up on you as a community and make sure you're okay and what you're feeling. We had a great conversation yesterday. And we've been having great conversations all week. So just wanted to check in. And I hope you're all going to do something special on this wonderful, let me see here. Let me see here. 4th of July week. And it's a 4-day weekend for some, 3-day weekend for some. It'll be a 4-day weekend. And so excited, just excited to be alive. You know what I'm saying? It's exciting to be alive. And yeah, that's what it's about. I see that everything is so bright. Let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. Let's see. And there we go. Yeah. Okay, that looks a little better. I got the other window is gonna be it's gonna be bright. But yeah, I got the shades down because it's so bright out today. And it's beautiful. This is a New York City number 10 day. What we call best weather days. What's going on, Chris? Chris R is in the building. Good morning. I know we were unscheduled to be here today, but I said, you know what? Let me pop on. The weather is brilliant in New York. It is nice and cool. No ACs needed. It feels so good. The house is nice and cool. All my windows are open. It's going to be a beautiful fireworks evening. A couple of friends are coming over from the community. I wish all of you could be here, the ones that are here all the time. I wish Kimmy could be here, Chris could be here. And yes, but we'll be celebrating the 4th of July fireworks. And I keep wondering, should I don't know if I can. We'll see. We will see if I'm able to broadcast it live this evening from a tripod. So maybe we'll see what it looks like. Okay. And for those that are not here in New York and that can, I'll be photographing my last photographs from this apartment because the apartment is now officially going into contract on Monday. So yeah. So, but I mean, same thing could happen this weekend. So another buyer could happen, but if nothing happens, it will be the apartment is sold. If no one comes up, if no one steps into the plate this weekend, it's sold. So I'm excited. It's sold in less than a week. And I am feeling blessed. I feel encouraged. I know that for we believers in here, that God has a plan. And that's all I can say. God has an amazing plan. And he knows what's best. And so and a wonderful buyer she gave my broker a note to send to me, and she said, in paraphrasing, that she felt the love, not the love, she fell in love with the apartment as soon as she walked through the doors. And and then she also knew she loved the way I designed the apartment, and she also is a creative, like myself, and I'm not sure what kind of creative she is, but she is going to be that. Hopefully, I mean, unless, like I said, someone beats her out. that could be possible, but I don't think so. I feel good about her. First of all, she took the time to send a note, and I thought that was special. So it's always those little things. It's those little things that draw your heart in. You know what I'm saying? It's like when someone takes the time to write you and say, I love the way you decorate. I love the way you do this, or I'm thinking of you. It's the little things that mean the most. So that's it, y'all. The apartment will start getting packed up soon. And then we'll be on the road. We will touch base daily. We'll be on the road. We'll be in different cities. We'll be in different countries. We'll be in different states. We'll be in different provinces. We'll be in different territories. We'll be in different lands. I'm excited about it. Yes. Chris says my realtor had me send a note to the seller as well. Nice. It's a beautiful touch. It really is. It does pull at your heartstrings. And I see all the congratulations here. And Kimmy said, you better go live. I'll be in Philadelphia. I'm coming down, Kim. We're going to hang out. I will be hanging out with my friends. I'm spending the first 2 years. First 2 years will be just really spending time with my friends, around the world. And I am blessed and fortunate to have friends around the country. I have friends around the world. I'm going to meet new friends. So I'm very happy at this next step. And so keep me in your prayers, keep me in your thoughts. I pray that everything works out, all the little fine tunings, those little glitches that like to pop up in things. So hopefully that everything will be smooth, that the board will approve her. And like I said, it looks like it's going to be her. I'm pretty sure. But like I said, if someone else jumps in to the bidding, the offerings ended on yesterday. But my broker said anything's possible. You never know, because so many people did see the apartment. We had 12 people that came out on Sunday for the open house, and we had 2 people came in during the week. As in Monday, someone came in, and then Tuesday, and then yesterday we had it was Wednesday night. We had an open house, and 3 people came out for the open house, and then we had 1 more person that came out yesterday. So that's a lot of people that showed interest in this apartment. It is one of the best apartments in this cooperative. So I'm very happy. I am very happy. I am feeling all kinds of ways. And congratulations again, says Kimmy says, yay. And we got the wonderful Janet in the building. She says, greetings all for this 4th of July. Yes. Do you know why I celebrate the 4th of July? It's not for what you may think. In this, I started doing this rephrasing the 4th of July something like 20 years ago. And I call it, there's a Bible verse that says, whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And so that's one of my foundation scriptures that I stand on. Whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And so I always use the 4th of July as that celebration. That this is the day that I celebrate, one of the days, but I probably celebrate every day. But this is a specific day when my mind automatically goes to whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And I celebrate my freedom. I celebrate my freedom. Right. So that's why I celebrate the 4th of July. I've, as they say, I hacked the meaning of it, where I know people will be celebrating God bless America and all that other stuff. But again, we are always reminded, for the African American, he was not free, or she was not free in 1776. So, and I always will cling to the great words. What is July 4th to the enslaved? Yes. So Frederick Douglass. And so those are the things I think about when I think about this day. But I am definitely wired that whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And I celebrate my freedom. I celebrate my freedom. And I get to celebrate it around the world and with friends and with you. So I am happy, 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 happy. Janet says, "Wow, Ron! Wow, Janet, did you get my invitation? I think I sent you a voicemail. Let me know." I sent you an invitation to come tonight, but I said you probably won't come out because I know that the fireworks they start at 9:30, and so, but everyone, those that are coming out are coming in at 8:30, and then we'll see the fireworks together, and then everybody's getting kicked out. No, everybody's going home, and then I have to start getting ready for. I see my financial advisor on Monday, and I will be talking to my lawyer on Monday, or maybe this evening, maybe today. Yeah, it'll be Monday because it's a holiday. So I'll be talking to it's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot. And this is why I'm saying to everyone, I know, and I will always say this in the beginning, I know that people cannot leave the country. I know majority of you cannot leave the country. I know that. I know that. But some of you can, and some of you will, because that's how it is. I have friends that are rethinking their marriages. Some of my friends who are gay men and gay women who are married to their spouses, and they are now rethinking what is life going to be like in America, and they may have to leave the country. We've watched movie stars leave already from the last presidency. We watch people that bought property overseas. My neighbor across the hall, she's a white woman with a beautiful son. She said last year, she was like, "I'm out, Ron. I'm out." She packed her bags. She sold her apartment right across the hall. She's one of the ones that inspired me. She inspired me. She's like, "Ron, I can't raise my son in this country. I can't raise my son in this country. I gotta go." She packed her bags and moved to Europe. So some will do it, some won't. However, whatever you decide to do, if I will give you some expert, I should say, no, I don't know if I say it's expert, but if I can say from experience, this plan went into effect. I thought after my neighbor sold her apartment, my wheels start churning. I said, wait a minute. I need to get serious about thinking about this. However, I didn't really I said, I'm gonna pull the trigger if Trump wins the election. Trump won the election, and I pulled the trigger. And so literally 2 weeks after the elections, I started purging my apartment. Little things here, little things there, little things here, little things there, just for whatever, and this process has taken 6 months to be exact, and it'll probably be 8 months when it's all done, said and done. So I want you guys to think about that. If you are going to decide to relocate, maybe you're living in the South, and it may not look too good if you live in a red state. Because this passing of the big, ugly bill is going to affect the red states more than the blue states. Most blue states are donor states. We support the red states. Now, the red states have no idea what's coming to them. Hospitals are already closing. They already announced, some hospitals announced yesterday that they were closing in some of the southern states. So there are going to be less hospitals. There are going to be less doctors. There are going to be less educated people in the South because they're going to leave those places because they're going to become unsafe for the educated, for people of color, for many different types of people are going to have to flee from the southern states or the red states, because not all red states are in the South. You got the Montana. Is Montana blue? No, Montana maybe. I think it's Montana blue. We know Dakotas are the Dakotas are red. We know Wyoming is red, right? And Iowa is sometimes red. So these states are going to be affected more because there are more people on Medicaid, Medicare in the red states than in the blue states, percentage-wise. We're talking about by percentages. So the big ugly bill passed. And again, we remember all those people that are saying, oh, we're not going to vote. They did that in the Senate, right? I'm not voting for this bill. They still line up. The Republicans are one thing you can guarantee from the Republican MAGA party. Whatever the dear leader says, they will do. They will line up every time to do it. Not so with the, Democrats and our independents. We got a lot more diversity, so it requires a lot more work. Right? Where there's a lot of diversity, there's a lot more work. So that's where we are. So guys, can I just say, as your big brother, because some of you guys, I'm like your big brother. Some of you guys, you're like, not everyone around here is in their, I think 40s and older. And I, as your big brother, will tell you, even if you don't plan to leave your home and leave, right now is the time to purge, because I had no idea how much stuff I had in this apartment. And my apartment is pretty, Janice says, New York State is going to be a problem. Yeah, because we have a lot of people in New York State. This bill passing is going to, I think the number was yesterday, someone mentioned, I think it's 1.8 or 1.6. 1.6 million people in New York State are going to be affected for Medicaid alone. The Medicaid alone, I think it's 1.6. I have to go back and check out some of those numbers. But a lot of people are going to be affected. This is going to hurt everyone. And what made me so angry, well, before I go there, let me just go back. Purge your home just in case you have to leave it, just in case you need to run. And I know that sounds so far-fetched, but maybe some of us who have not seen The Handmaid's Tale, you might want to take some time to look at that series. We're here. The Handmaid's Tale. Many of the scenes that are in that series on Hulu are really happening in real life right now in America is scary. It is scary. It is jarring. So, but yeah, I would say rethink how you're living, clean, purge. You know, Gwendolyn's doing her deep dive, her deep, what she call it, for Swedish. I think she called it the Swedish cleaning or Swedish. Yeah, I think it's Swedish cleaning. And yeah, we have to just be, you know, let's just get rid of the excess that we don't need. So that way, if we need to leave or if something happens, we can go. Again, we always talk about in this community, making sure you get your backpacks together. You should always have an on-the-go bag in case you need it. I know these are all things that sound a little fearful. However, we're going to be ready for whatever happens because we have community. We have one another. We are always going to be educating one another. You're going to share what you learn. I'm going to share what I learn. We're all going to learn together. We're going to get through this together. We're going to get together on here. This is our cyber community, but we will get together in our, I would say in the person-to-person world, like seeing each other in community. We're going to make it. And we're going to continue to spread education. We're going to continue to flood the gates with our history online. As long as we can do it, we will keep doing it. We will keep sharing all of the information that we learn. We are in this together. Yeah, Cass says, do not think about it as fear. Think of it as preparation, transition, and growth in a different direction. I like that, Kaz. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. It is about preparation, transition, and growth. And so, but we're in this together. And as long as we're together, we will survive, we will strive, and we will thrive. We will thrive together. So that's what I got out of it. You know, my question to everyone was, you know, we all know that the bill is passed. Today is going to be the signing ceremony if it hasn't happened already. And but we have each other. That's all I'm going to keep saying is we have each other. And this is when you build community. This is when you build community. If you don't have a community, you create one. If you don't have a community, you step up and you start a community. Look to your neighbors, check on your neighbors, you know, how they're doing, how they're feeling, what's going on. Hey, I'm here for you. Right? That's how you start community. Community starts with you caring for the people. Care for the people, and you will have a good community. You will have a community, and it doesn't matter how big your community is. You don't need a big community. You don't need to have 1,000 people. You don't need to have a 700,000 subscribers community on YouTube. All you need is community. If two people, hey, you know, here's another little Bible verse. I mean, you know, Bible foundation that's universal. I use it because it's universal. Right? Where two or three are gathered in the name, right? Two or three are gathered, you create community. As soon as you add one person into your space, you've just created community. The minute you invite someone for coffee, you have created community, right? Community is more than one. More than one. So get out there. If you, like I said, this is your online community. This is your cyber community. And again, and then once you meet people online, make it an effort to see them in the physical world. right? See them in the physical world. Go out, connect, go to the movies, have coffee and tea, go for a walk, get on the phone, have conversation. It's going to mean the world to you. The only way we're going to get through crazy is together. Because you're going to need days that you're going to have to say, I just need to scream. I just need someone on the other end of the phone, on the other end of the computer, on the other end of FaceTime, on the other end to just hear me out. And then once you get it out, you move on. It's therapeutic. Who is your support system? We need support systems in place to get through what we're about to go through. So here we go. Cass says, hey, side note, nice hat. What is on the hat? Gwendolyn sent me this as a practical joke when I switched over from Android to Apple. So she gave me an Apple hat. I love this hat. It's really beautiful. It's just nice and it's like low key. It's Apple, but I was saying Apple. It's an Apple hat. And so yeah, this is Gwendolyn at her best. Gwendolyn at her best, and she's always thoughtful. And yeah, guys. So what do you guys think? Am I wrong? What do you guys do you concur? Are you with me? We got to build community. Jazzy said earlier, let's be clear as well. This affects all of us, blue and red states. Yes, red states are going to hurt more, but everyone is going to hurt behind this. Every one of us. Yes, we will say that over and over and over again. This is going to affect everybody. Thank you, Jazzy. Montana is red. Montana is red. Yes. Kimmy says, yes, selling your home is an option to fund the move. Yes. Hey, Daisy's in the building. What's up, Daisy? I see you. And guys, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Right? If I'm off, then then you'll just tell me, because this is the kind of community you guys are not afraid to express when I'm off the beaten trail. Yes, I see. Okay, there I see some folks. I see. Kaz says, I agree. And Janet says, absolutely. Yes, if you're a photographer, get in there, meet some other photographers. Since this is, photographers listening on here on this platform. If you're a photographer, a creative, and you're in a creative space, you're a podcaster, build your community. No lone rangers. And I always used to tell Adrian when he was younger, I used to say, there is the Lone Ranger, but guess what? He's called the Lone Ranger, but he's never alone because he has Tonto. Always remember that. Even the Lone Ranger has somebody. You gotta have somebody. You can't do life alone. We need each other. Kimmy says, do we know when the changes to Medicare SNAP will begin? I heard them saying something like over a certain amount of years, people will be affected. Yes, there are certain items that are going to happen over the next couple of months, right? However, the hardcore hitting Medicare, Medicaid changes don't happen until after, for most of them, after the election, the midterm elections. So they want to make sure you feeling right, you feeling good, right? Eddie Glaus mentions. I posted that and sent that to my friends, and how they think everyone's a fool. They think everyone's, they think everyone's stupid. So what they did, they set it up so that it hits hardcore, bam, after the midterm elections. So they want you to still feel good, like, right? It's like inducing, like, it's like when I had my surgery, and I know my body was going to go through assault because they're going to cut something out, right? Yeah, they had to cut out part of my colon. But while I'm laying down on the operating table, I'm having a great conversation with my anesthesiast. We're talking, and I'm talking to the nurses, and we're just having engagement. And then I look at my anesthesiast, uh, and I said to her, I'm feeling really nervous about this. She said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'll get you some. I'm going to give you something that you won't even your nerves will be gone. You won't even feel what's about to happen to you. just hold on. I'm going to make sure you are fine." That's exactly what they've done with this bill. Thank you, anesthesiologist. Thank you, Chris. See, I told you guys will correct me if I'm off. Thank you, anesthesiologist. And and she said that she goes, "I'm going to create a nice cocktail for you." And before you know it, I was in my hospital room and the surgery was over. That's how it happens. So they're going to lull you as if everything is fine, everything is good, everything is right. Right? Right? That's how they do it. And then you're going to hopefully vote for them in the midterms, if there is a midterm, right? Or if there's a midterm and the midterm counts. There's many ways that this can happen. But they want to make sure you are in a good place. And then right after the midterms, bam. So guys, and what that means, so use that to your advantage. Use this to your advantage. No, Daisy, I needed to get all my assets out of America. That is it. Pretty much said and done. I am, as I will explain, I bought this apartment for retirement. That was the whole purpose of it. When I was 30 plus, 31 years old, 32 years old, I moved into this apartment. 31, yeah, because I'm 31, so that's 30 years ago. So yeah, so it's like I bought the apartment in 1996. And I was young. So yeah, man, that's a long time ago, y'all. That's a long time ago, 1996. So I was young. And I said, let me buy this apartment. So I bought the apartment. First I moved in, then I rented, then I bought it. But I said I was buying this for my retirement because of the wisdom of my mother's boyfriend at that time, when I was younger. Said, you must own a piece of property. A piece of property will get you through life, through your hard times. And it did. So I bought this apartment very cheap. Then I refinanced twice after 2 major layoffs. So I had 2 major setbacks in life. My apartment saved me through it all. Just like my mother's friend said, her boyfriend told me, he's almost like an extended dad. I talk to him often, and he also still to this day, he follows me on Facebook. He says, "Son, I'm so proud of you. Son, I'm so proud of you." He sends me texts, and I love him to death. I love him to pieces. And he said, and it was true. When I had my first layoff, I had and I had first got laid off from Wall Street after 9/11. I had to restructure my finances. I had to get rid of things, stop using things, got rid of cable, got rid of a lot of stuff. But the one thing I was able to do was refinance my home, or I took a loan against my home, and I was able to live because I had a really good apartment that was at the time was still in its in its reference to the area I live in. It was easy to get a loan when I got, you know, when I saw that I had gotten laid off. So, and then when I decided to become a photographer, I was able to also refinance again and set up myself where I could live 2 years without worrying about money while I pursue this new career as a photographer. So my home has done a lot. So I'm always sharing with folks, if you can buy real estate, buy it, because especially young people. And I know it's hard for young people to buy. They did a statistic. I think it was, did I hear this yesterday or 2 days ago? That when I bought my home, I was pretty much in what's called the average age range of when people buy homes. Back in the 90s, the average person bought their first home in their 30s, right? It does not, that is so far, we've gone so far off the rails in this country. The average age right now to buy a home, first home, is 56 years old. Isn't that insane? 50 in today's world, the average age of a person buying their first home is 56 years old. So think about all those young people that can't afford at 30, where you should be getting your, it used to be 25, it used to be like you would work your tail off, and then you will put money in the bank, you'll get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you kind of like save together, and then next thing you know, you bought your apartment, or you got married and bought a house, because not only did you buy the house, but maybe the in-laws came together and gave you, put money together to buy you your first home. It's hard to do it in this society, in this economy, and it's very hard in this society. So I consider myself very fortunate, and it takes a village. I'm going to keep hopping on this community thing. It really does take a community. If my mother's boyfriend was not a good man, you know what I'm saying? A good man, I wouldn't have my apartment. I would not have done it. It would have never crossed my mind. But it took a village. I saw that my godparents owned their home. They owned the building. They owned things. So I was like, oh, that's what I want to do when I get older. I want to own something. And I had the opportunity. And I wish I would have bought the brownstone I was living in, because my landlord at the time was going to sell me the brownstone after his partner passed away. And the apartment, it was like $378,000, I think it was. $378,000 for a brownstone. It was 4 stories. We lived there for like 15 years, and the landlord loved us. He never raised our rent because he loved us so much. He was a beautiful guy. He also kind of like took me under his wing, and he would talk to me. He'd pop by. We sit on the stoop and talk, and I always maintain the house while, because they had several properties. So I made sure that our property looked good, because I was always about making sure the property looked good anyway. And but it's a community. Again, this man he says, now I think you should buy this. He said, I think you should buy this home. And but I was terrified because I was traumatized by something that happened in our family, where one of my relatives lost their home because the tenants did not pay their rent. And so that person couldn't pay their mortgage, and next thing you know, they lost their home. So I was traumatized by that, and I said, no, 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 I'm not owning anything with tenants because I don't want to be in that spot. Hindsight 2020, I wish I would have bought that. I wish I would have bought it because he really tried to accommodate us to get that home. He said, even if you have to eat tuna, he said, even if you have to eat tuna fish sandwiches and peanut butter and jelly for a year, he go, it's worth investing in. And I was like, I think I was like 21, 22 years old. And I was like, it was too big for my brain to wrap around that I could do it. And now that home is worth $5 million today. I just ride by, it's not too far from here. And so imagine that if I would have bought that house and now sold that home, I would be really in great shape today. But hindsight is 2020. But we learn, and hopefully we'll teach people that are younger than us what they can do. So if you are young and you are young in this community, there are some people that are in their 30s that listen to this podcast. If it means eating tuna fish sandwiches and peanut butter and jelly, it's worth it. It's worth it because later on, your property is an interesting commodity. It does have the ability to save you in financial crisis. Don't know what the world's going to look like in the future, but it was for me. And now retirement is here. So the reason why I did not rent the apartment out is because I do not want any ties. One of the financial advisory is to, one, if you have money of any kind, you should diversify. Diversification is the key to success financially. You should have money in property, have some money in some stocks, have some money in investments, have some money here. Those that can do it, but diversity is important. But you cannot have all your eggs in one basket, because if that basket gets a hole in it, you could lose everything. And after, I'm putting my business out online, right? Because who knows who's going to see this, but I'm here to support and to help people. I'm saying this to help someone that wants to listen. So I realized I had reached the point where I had, my goal was set. Same thing when you buy stock. You're not supposed to get emotionally connected to your stock portfolio. I spent 15 years at the stock exchange, on the trading floor, and working in the stock market and all that stuff. One of the lessons you learn is that you should not become attached to your stocks. You should have goals. So you say, I bought this stock at $2. I'm going to sell it at $10. Well, sell it at $10 and don't become so attached to it, right? Let it go at 10. If you made some profits, let the profits ride beyond that. But take your initial investment out of the stock. So let's say you bought stock at $2 and you spent $20 to get that stock, to get a bunch of stock. Well, you spent $20 on it, but now the stock is worth $50, right? As soon as it hits where you put money in, for instance, you put $20 in, it was $2 a share. You bought 10 shares, but now the price has gone up from $2 a share to $4 a share. So now you have double. So now when you get that $40, your portfolio is worth $40 now, then you take your $20 out and let the other 20 go. Like, you just let it keep it going, because now you have no losses. If that stock went to zero, you have no losses because you've taken out your initial investment, right? You've doubled the number. So now you take out your number, the money, your initial investment, and then you let the profit ride and just ride it into the future. That's how you do it. Well, same thing with real estate. Sometimes when you get there's what they call waves in the real estate market. And the real estate market is usually, those waves are usually around 10 years, about 10 years, sometimes 15, sometimes 20. But there's a up and down in the real estate market. I happen to be I'm 61 years old, right? The stock market is at record highs, right? The real estate market for Clinton Hill, where I live, Walk Green, Clinton Hill, downtown Brooklyn, is near the peak of its profitability, right? So all of these things, I call it, cumulated. I get the right word. Cumulated. I'm saying the word proper. I hope I get the word properly. But they all accumulated in one area. Everything's at peak right now for me because I'm 61 years old. So I can't endure another downturn. So I'm at peak. So if I wait till I'm 70, I'm not longer at peak. The house is going to go down, or at least, somewhat. So you have to know where you are in your cycle, in these cycles. For instance, I'm giving you all the business, right? I'm giving you all the business, but I hope you're taking notes. Because in 2008, when we had the meltdown, I went to my financial advisor and said, it's time to sell. I'm going to sell the apartment. I'm going to sell the apartment in 2008. And he looked at me and said, I can't sanction this. I was like, what do you mean, Peter? What do you mean, Peter? He's like, I can't approve this. Now you can override me because it's your money, it's your apartment, but I can't stand by you with this decision you're going to make. And he says, Ron, ride it out. Ride it out. It's not the end of the world. The markets crash. We've been through crashes before. You will survive. You're too young to sell your apartment. You're too young. At that time, I was 40. I guess I was 40 years old. 40 something years old, because that was 2008. That was 18 years ago, 15 years ago. Yeah. So I was in my 40s. He says, Ron, you got too much time. You got too much time ahead. You're gonna reap the benefits of the next cycle. And boy, was he right. I'll be seeing him on Monday, and I'm gonna walk in his office, and I'm gonna say, Peter, thank you as always. What's the lesson learned there? Today's a wisdom day. I'm just spewing all my business in the streets. Well, not all of it, but something that will help you. The importance of community, the importance of advisors in your life. You cannot make decisions alone. Sometimes our emotions get so wrapped up. Sometimes our emotions will steer us wrong. You got to have someone that's not connected, but yet invested in you as a person. Does that make sense? Not connected to the thing, but invested in you as a person. So then they can help you during those emotional crises. And now I'm going to walk in his office and say, Peter, you were right. You were right. And I walk away with 4 times as much as I would have walked away with in 2008. 4 times more than what I would have sold it for in 2008. So I'm saying this, start thinking about your future in a different way if you're not already starting it. You have to start investing in your future. You have to start thinking outside the box. You have to think out of your fears. You have to think with community. And again, I stress the community that loves you, cares for you, and wants the best for you. Surround yourself with extremely smart people. Extremely smart people that you can throw your ideas out at. And then they can look at you and say, Ron, that was stupid. That's a dumb idea. Or they will say, Ron, I think you're onto something. I think you should do it. And then you weigh the balance. You balance it all of the information you receive. I get to talk to you like this because I'm 61 years old. I am declared a senior citizen in America. So for some of you, this is grandpa talking, giving you some wisdom, giving you some trinkets today. Hey, we might as well make it worthwhile, right? We're in this together. And if I can help you, if I can take my experiences and help you so you don't have to go through the hard times, or that you will walk away from this conversation today smarter than you arrived, then it's worth it all. But Daisy, thank you for spirit. Thank you. This is what community does. You see, Daisy asked the question, why didn't I sell my apartment? Sorry, why didn't I rent it out? And you saw all of this information that came out of that one question, because that's what community does. That's how community works, is that you engage in meaningful conversation, spurred on by wisdom of one another. That's the beauty of conversation, right? Dr. Tachi's in the building. What's up, Dr. Tachi? She's in the building. If you're in the building, hit the likes, hit the likes. Let people know we're here. Maybe they want to grab some of this little wisdom that I'm sharing too. Cass says, take care of all the medical and use insurances next couple of months, whether you have Medicaid or not. Just a suggestion. You see the community? Do you see this community engaging right now? You see the community engaging? Kaz just dropped some wisdom right here. I remember when I was leaving my job and getting ready to become a photographer full time. What did I do in that last year? I got my deep teeth, that deep cleaning of the teeth. I got my wisdom tooth. I'm not wisdom tooth. What was it? I had my gums all cleaned out and everything all done. I had my checkups done. I got my glasses updated. I did everything I could do in that last year, because I knew change was coming. So guys, the beauty of this bill being, some of it's going to be executed soon, but most of it's going to be executed in 1.5 years. You have 1.5 years to get it together. Don't procrastinate like I am a procrastinator. My flaw, my personality flaw is that I am a hardcore procrastinator. But you have time. So use this time to get your dental care done, get your screenings done, get your prostates checked, get your all the breast, the mammograms, all that stuff. Get it done now. Everyone should be now rushing to talk to your insurance companies and get everything done. Yes, Kaz. Yes. Get the medical care, get your insurance in order, get everything you need right now. Because when this big, ugly bill is in place and has now been executed, it won't be easy to do. Kaz, that's a good one. You did a good, that's a good one. Kimmy says, thanks, Jazzy. I have to take some time to research so I understand more about it. Jazzy says, in fact, in the next 2 tax cycles, you're probably going to get more money back. It's by design because Americans have selected memory. Yes. Jazzy says, Kim, it's intentionally confusing and people need to keep pushing that the GOP put this in place because they want to blame the Dems as usual. Kim says, I'm glad I asked the question. This is community chat, y'all. We having a conversation. Cass says, Daisy, if rented out, I do believe things would have to go through the board. I think Ron mentioned it before. He can explain though, and I did. Yes, Jay-Z. Yes, that's awesome. Wow. Dr. Ty says 56. Wow, that's terrible. Yes. Average age today is 56 to buy a home. But it's by design. Jazzy says, it's insane, but not surprising. Cass says, I was so close in my 30s. I guess God had other plans for me. Test is testimony for some. Yes. Facts. I see. And Dr. Ty said, you would have been rolling in cash had you bought it. Yes. Hindsight is 2020. I would have been selling my big giant brownstone for $5 million because that's the average cost of a brownstone here in Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, is $5 million for a brownstone. I would have been happy. I would have been like, woo, just get rid of it all. But I'm going to be like getting rid of it all anyway. I'm not taking much with me. Most of the stuff is going. I even going to make sure I tell the lawyer if she wants to up the ante a couple more dollars and take some of the furniture, she can have the furniture. She can have the furniture too. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. If she wants this desk, she can have it. If she wants these lamps, she could have it. I'll give these lamps. I'll give up my Ralph Lauren lamps. I will give them up. My Ralph Lauren lamps are right here on my desk. I'll give them up. If she raises, says, you know what, I'll increase it $5,000, $10,000. I'll say the whole apartment's yours. If you want the trees, you can have the trees. Daisy says, what wasn't meant to be? Exactly. What's meant for you to have, God will make a way. You ain't gonna lose out. Look at it. I mean, life could have been different. Who knows? Each one of us has a path to take. Each one of us. But always remember, in that path, what do we need? Community. This is our community message today. Dr. Talia says, listen, that's why I'm glad I bought this house in 2009, 1.2 miles from the beach. That's right. Think about 1.2 miles away from the beach. Just right. So that when hurricanes come along, they don't affect you. and you're in, but close enough to get to the beach. Yeah. Cass says, understand. Wow. On the other hand, you can share and teach others through your experiences and travel the world now. Absolutely. Jazzy says, a lot of people don't get that millennials, Gen Z don't have livable wages like their wages don't match their basic bills. It's not that they don't want to own. This is exactly right, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, Jazzy, Jazzy. The bills that, think of the student loans alone for kids, young people today. Gen Z and the millennials, the cost of education. Do you know how long it took me? I had a easy student loan. I mean, my student loan wasn't crazy. I mean, I had to take one because I was by myself. I didn't come from rich. I didn't come from any. I had no one to help me. So I had a student loans with an S. It took me 30 years to pay off my student loans. Think about that. It took me 30 years to pay off my student loan. I will tell you, when that day came along and I paid off that student loan, the last one, I ran around this house like a mad person. I was so like, I sat on my couch and cried and said, it's finally over. 30 years I paid my student loan. Just wrap your brain around that. 30 years. It's a gimmick in America. They don't care about us. They don't care about the people. These wealthy people, they don't care about us. Could you imagine strapping a young person's life to 30 years of paying back a student loan? That's not even including the mortgage that person might get. And the young people today, my college wasn't, I mean, compared to what credits cost today, it's a crime. It's horrible. It is an indictment of how bad our country is on so many levels. There's some good things about America, but let me tell you, they make it difficult for everyone to survive unless you have money. I mean, my heart goes out. That's why when Biden got rid of that student debt, I was like, thank God these kids don't have to pay that. And then the arrogance of some of the people in our country. Did you see the messed up minds in this country, that people were getting upset with those that were able to get their credit, their student loans erased, and others was like, well, I didn't get mine, so why should they get theirs? I mean, it's just, well, how about this? I had to pay 30 years. Why not? We're a messed up mind. There's some people in our country, I don't know what the percentage is, but they're just nasty. They're just mean. They're just evil. They just have this ability to not root for the other person. They just want destruction. They just want people to feel the pain. Cruelty is the point, MAGA. Anyway, that was great. I went down that rabbit hole. Sorry about that. I'm reading you guys' comments off. Kimmy Kiss, so appreciated. Jazzy says, financial literacy should be taught in schools. It should be. That should be taught in kindergarten. Why isn't it taught? That should be part of the curriculum in every school. Financial response. What is a stock? What is investment? What's a bank? How to write a checkbook, even though people don't use them that much these days. Still know it. How to balance your credit. Know about your credit score. Know what not to do. What is crypto? What is this stuff? What's a mutual fund? What's a bond? What's the bond rating? What's the Dow Industrials? What's the NASDAQ? I could go on and on and on. Why aren't young people being taught this still? Cass says, I was going to say that, Dr. Tachi. Kimmy Kim says, yes, Jazzy, we did an experiment with stocks for a month in high school, just checking and deciding when to move it. That's when I learned. I had a good economic teacher in high school. I scored an A in my economic classes. Jazzy says, Dr. Tachi, I know, I just wish it was different. I think it would also be beneficial for older people to truly understand what younger people are going through. Jazzy, older people do understand what you're going through in a lot of cases. They do. I do. And I'm not the only one. We know what you're going through. We see it. Why? We felt it. And you guys are feeling it on steroids. We know what you're going through. We know it hurts. We're with you, Jazzy. We're with you. We're with you. Jazzy says, I think there is notion that younger people don't want what our parents have. But a lot of us are not in the position to do things the way they did. This is true, but you can make a difference. You can. You can. Even in your worst situation, you can do some things. But we appreciate you. We love you. We know. That's why we're here. That's why we have community. We see you, Jazzy. We see you. We see all the young people in the building. We see those that are 30 and 20 years old that all have to live with their parents and struggling. Decisions to make. It's costly to go to school. Some people will have to go to the military because there's no other way. Like some of our friends did when we were growing up. Sorry, we're having a New York moment. There's always a siren. Always a siren in New York. This should be called Friday for your information. Right? This is Focus Friday, right? Makes lots of sense. Jazzy says, Kimmy Kim, we had a consumer math class in high school, but it was an elective. I told my teacher it was the most beneficial class I had. And we need students to voice what is beneficial. We need our students to be engaged, but we need our parents to teach our students how to be engaged. I see the thankfuls. I see the thank yous. If you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Cass says, my first job after college had T. Roy Price. Remember them. I remember them. Then I had a layoff first time experience, but it was good. And I had savings to live until my next job. Like, you know what? Speaking of that, Kaz, I did not learn until I was in my 40s about the FU account. Do you guys know what the FU account is? My buddy, my neighbor, years ago, used to live a couple of blocks over. He used to come over, hang out. We used to look at superheroes together. And one day we're talking, and he said, my father told me when I was, I think he was 15 years old, 14 years old, son, we're going to open up for you an FU account. He said that word, the FU ends with a K. Account. And I said, what? Your father said that? He says, yes. My father pulled me to the side and said, we're going to the bank right now and we're opening up for you an FU account. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said that to him. He said, because young man, there's going to come a day. I want you to put money in this account for the rest of your life. You're to put money, a piece of your account, or whatever money you make, take 10%, take a percentage, and put it into this FU account. Start now. I'm giving you your allowance, and I want you to take a percentage of that allowance and put it in your FU account. I couldn't believe it. I had never heard this before. I was 40-something years. I wish I would have told Adrian this when he was a kid, when he was younger. I wish I could have told people this lesson, the FU account. And he says, because when your employer treats you like crap, or you meet some employer that's a racist bigot, or you meet some employer that doesn't care about you, you can say, F you, I'm out of here. And you'll have enough money to survive until you get to your next gig. I was like, yo, dude, I need to set up an FU account. I was like, I need one of those accounts right now. And I was 40-something years old when he told me this story. Maybe no, I wasn't 40. I was in my 30s. I was like 30. Maybe I was like 37 years old, maybe 38 years old. Yeah. Y'all ever heard the FU? Some of you guys, I remember we had this conversation before. Some of you heard about the FU account. It makes a difference for every child. That means that child is never, ever needing to stay at an employer that is treating them wrong. Think of the freedom. My buddy walks around the world like he owns the world. Like he could care less. He's like, if they treat me like crap, I'm out. And he does it. He's done it several times. I'm out. And then he go and he'll take money from the FU account, and then he replenishes it and then goes back. He replenishes that account. She says, Jazzy, Dr. Tachi, older generations didn't understand what I was going through when I was a young person. I just had to make sure my emotions didn't get in the way. I'm older than our moderator. That's right. Janet's like a second mom to me. Janet is like she's like a big sister. She's like a mom. She's everything in one for me. She's one of my inspirations. Janet and I have many conversations. I thank God every day. Every day Janet is in this building. Every day every day I talk to Janet, I am thankful. Surround yourself with older people. You don't have the education. Surround yourself with people that are more wise than you. Cass says, this is a time to take care of medical, important paperwork. Invest if you can. Agree. Janet says, back then I thought my student loans were going to choke me. I did too, Doctor. I did too. Dr. Tachi says, Janet Fisher, wow. Daisy says, we need to live together in order to get ahead. We need each other. Cass says, insane 30 years. Wow, yes, 30 years to pay off a student loan. Dr. Ty says, they don't give 2 D's. Kimmy says, yeah, it's crazy that interest setup. Yes. And they had the nerve to put you on a variable interest rate on a student loan. So that means when the student loan, when the interest rates went up, your student loan went up. Ooh, that was hard times, y'all. Oh, hard times. Dr. Ty says, when I was in undergrad, I used to take summer classes at the community college. It was $33 per credit. Remember those days, Dr. Tachi? Hours, so I could easily pay for it myself. And it wasn't that long ago, to be honest. But now you pay $1,000, $2,000 a credit. It's crazy. Kimmy Kim says, it is a hallelujah moment when those loans are paid off. Jazzy says, the compound interest on these loans is crazy. I had to get private student loans because my single mother made too much. My interest rate was 15% compound daily. Whoa, 15%. $33. Yes, Dr. Tachi. Jazzy says, I have friends who have been paying loans for 20 years and have touched the principal. It's predatory. That's what they said. It's predatory. We are seen as lazy. We are seen as lazy. That's the running narrative. No, Jazzy, Jazzy, no, we don't see you as lazy. We know it's hard out there. New York moments. Yes, those sirens. Kimmy says, the younger people are doing their best on how society is set up. Many want more than what the parents have, want to learn and do better. Kaz says, positive side out of this mess, maybe certain communities will make a conscious effort to change the cycle. This may be the opportunity to change hearts and minds. And also monetary wealth is good, but we all need to be mindful of other definitions of wealth, joy, and freedom. Say that again. Joy and freedom is wealth as well. Kimmy says, you're probably going to have at least one of those employers if you had several jobs along the way. You better believe it. I've had several employers that I said I wanted to F you and get out. Janet said, I'm grateful for you, Ron. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of you. I hope you learned something today. Jazzy says, hee, I'll be Jay-Z. Jazzy Jazz is in the building. I love Jazzy Jazz. Jazzy Jazz gives me perspective. Yes. You know, and I'm going to close with this. The beauty of community is that you could be one of my favorite New Testament books in the Bible it's the two of them. Is Timothy 1, Timothy 2, and Titus. But Timothy was a mentee, I should say, of Paul. And what I learned in my young adult life is that everyone needs two people in their lives, two sets of people. You need someone, as we're the neutral person. We're the one in the center here. Every one of you are in the center. I'm in the center. Everybody needs a Paul in their life, like Timothy had a Paul, right? Timothy had Paul. Timothy was a mentee of Paul, the disciple, or the apostle Paul. So Paul taught Timothy, poured into Timothy. You know that by his writings in his letter, the 1st and 2nd Timothy's. You can see the writings, the influence of Paul in his life. But not only that, like Paul, everybody needs a Timothy. Everybody needs a Timothy. Someone that they're pouring their life into. So everyone needs someone younger in their life. We need young people in our life, because it's whenever you're pouring life into someone younger, it's a transaction of knowledge and information. When Dr. Tachi, she says, come on, Reverend. When Dr. Tachi gets in front of her class of students, she's pouring into her students knowledge, information, inspiration, encouragement. She's doing all of that when she's standing in front of her class and she's teaching her class. Her class are little Timothys. But not only is Dr. Tachi, we're using Dr. Tachi because she's in this community, is pouring into the lives of all those little Timothys, they're giving back to her. Because every time she asks them a question, she puts something on the board. She writes something. She sends them and says, I want to hear the essay on this subject. I want you to share your knowledge of this subject. How are you receiving it? How are you understanding it? I need you to give me an essay on what you're doing. What are you feeling? What are you believing in? And then when Dr. Tachi takes all that information, she gets to read all that information. She learns from all of her Timothys. All those students are embarking information right back at Dr. Tachi. And she's learning about all of her students. She's learning about where they come from, what made them make the decision they made, why they answered the way they answered. Everybody needs a Timothy. Everybody needs a Paul. We must have community. We must live in community, right? You need each other. We have, they say, old saying is a full glass can't receive more water. So what happens to the full glass? When the full glass gets lots of water, it has to be poured out into something else. It has to be poured out into other glasses. When you fill your pitcher up with water, it can receive no more once it gets to the brim, right? Once it gets to the top, you can't fill it anymore. You got to take that pitcher of water and pour it into many other glasses. And when you pour that water into many other glasses, then you can go back to the source and fill the pitcher again with fresh, new water. So I close today. In conclusion, this is my conclusion. Everybody needs a Timothy. Everyone needs a Paul. Everyone needs a student to teach. Everyone needs a teacher to learn from. Everyone needs someone to become better. So never look down on a young person. Never look down on someone that's younger than you and say, oh, they're just young folks over there. We need our young folks. They teach us. They help us understand the world that is developing before our eyes. Young people do that for us. Young people give us insight to what's going on in the real world. Old people are necessary. Seniors are necessary because they give us a window into our past. They help us see where we're going. The power of community. Man, are you guys in agreement with me? Are you guys in agreement with me on this Independence Day? You are free. You are free. We are free indeed. We are free indeed. Cass says, elder and younger engaging can go both ways. I'm always open to learning from all that can share experiences and knowledge to continue to develop wisdom. I say ever evolving. Dr. Tachi laughed. She said, except the Timothys that are getting an F. Oh, indeed, community is key, says Jazzy. Kimmy Kim says, Ron, just love it. Kimmy Kim says, what an inspiration start to my morning. Jazzy says, and we need the wisdom from our elders. Daisy says, and never disregard the older generation. Cass says, yes, so please throw out the statement to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. How about let's give some people some boots? I'll finish that statement. There we go. There's the love. Fifi's in the building. What's up, Fifi? Janet's sending some hearts and loves 100%. I hope this meant something to you. Again, hit the likes, hit the share. I think someone will learn something from this wonderful conversation we had today that I had with you guys. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate every single one of you. If you want to stay in contact, make sure you join the email list. Just go to ronlewisphotos.com. Make sure you do that. Just join the email list. And it's easy. It just pops on the screen as soon as you go to ronlewisphotos.com. Also, if you're looking for an event photographer, make sure you mention my name. If someone's looking for an event photographer, mention my name so I can keep busy. I'll be able to do photos anywhere around the world, events around the world. So let's do it. Let's do it together. And again, thank you to the Patreon members in our community that support what we do here. If you are not a Patreon member, become one. Support what we do here. It takes money to do what we do here. So become a Patreon member. Don't just be on a sideline looking. And I do believe I was supposed to do it yesterday, but today a lot of you Patreon members have a surprise coming to you by the end of the day. So keep your eyes on your email. Okay. Also, if you're interested in learning photography, you can. I do teach photos. Photograph your world, home, work, or play, virtual basic photography 101, fun tutoring using your camera model, creative instructions, and learning at your pace. And also available in person tutoring in New York City. There you have it, y'all. There you have it. There you have it. I think you all walk away with some kind of, I think I was able to leave a little bit of wisdom here today. I think you all leave here smarter than you arrived. Unless you arrive late. Unless you're just arriving, then it's all over. You're going to have to catch the repeat. You're going to have to catch the repeat. Have a happy, safe, and wonderful 4th of July. And remember, some of us are not celebrating the 4th of July as others are doing, as in the celebration of our country. But what you can do is celebrate your freedom. And that's what we do. That's what I do. Celebrate your freedom because you are free. Good day. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.